Good afternoon, one and all. So, today we have gathered here to celebrate the superannuation of our beloved Professor Sushil Kabra, and we will start the proceedings. Now, I invite Professor Kabra and Ma'am Madhulika Kabra to please come to the dais. Now I request our Dean Research, Dr. Titial, sir, to please join, sir. And also our MS, Dr. Sanjeev Lalwani, to please join the stage. Now I request Mrs. Ganga, madam, to present the plan to Sir Kabra, sir. And to Madhulika, ma'am. Titial, sir. Dr. Sanjeev, sir. Now I request Professor Madhulika, ma'am, to please speak.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Dr. Tatial, Dr. Lalwani, Dr. Vajpayee, Dr. Mirdha, Dr. Virender, everybody who's present here. On behalf of the Department of Pediatrics, I welcome you all for the farewell function of Professor Sushil Kabra, and thank you all for taking out time to grace this occasion. Sushil has spent a long journey of more than 3 decades at this glorious institute, and I have experienced his journey with him. Though it is difficult for me to speak about him as he hardly expresses his thought process, I still take the liberty of expressing my perceptions about him very, very briefly. So on his behalf, he will be speaking later, but on his behalf, I can say that he has enjoyed every moment spent here, the most cherished being taking care of patients, their families, and very importantly, talking to them, teaching everyone, and supporting students in their difficult times. In the last few years, I've observed him being sentimental while talking about his last rounds, last clinic, last class, etc., and last OPD. Second, what I feel is that his perception is that it is good to be ambitious for growth, but ambition should not affect your mental peace. And at the end of the day, satisfaction is what is more important in your life, provided you have given your best and leave rest to God. So with these few words, I assure you that Team Pediatrics will try our level best to the best of our capabilities to carry forward the legacy of the Institute and our own department. And we seek everybody's blessings, support, and guidance as always. With these few words, let us take the celebrations forward. And now I request Team Pediatrics to take over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor Rakesh Lodha, who will take you through the journey of Sir before AIIMS and as well as in AIIMS.
Okay, so good afternoon. I think it's a privilege for me to take you through a presentation. I think most of us know many things about Sir, but the team division and the team has put together a small presentation just to highlight, I guess, some of the things that he has done. It can't be, 10 minutes would not be enough to do so. So initial years, born at in district Sikar, Lashmangarh, initial schooling there. followed by, he joined SMS Jaipur, where he did his MBBS and MD Pediatrics and completed in 86. And Dr. Ghai was the examiner there for him and pretty impressed by his performance. He kind of just whispered in his ear that, come to AIIMS. There used to be a senior residency exam, a tough one, fewer seats than what we have currently. And there he landed in AIIMS from 87 to 90. These are some of the memories which are there with the fellow residents. And I think predominantly this is like newborn unit, but sir kind of worked in all the units. He then subsequently I think he was interested in pediatric nephrology, and he went on a AIIMS fellowship for pediatric nephrology in Cardiff, UK. And there he was informed of his selection as assistant professor at AIIMS and kind of returned back a month earlier, only to be kind of put in pediatric pulmonology. And I think that's great for us. We welcome Dr. Srivastav here at this time point. But apart from pediatric pulmonology, which he kind of, at that time, Dr. Anbu Chetty was there, but practically he developed it from there on. But it's not just pulmonology. I think it's about infections. Apart from the pulmonary infections, TB, HIV, dengue, and I guess anything new that's on the horizon, I think he was the go-to person. And rheumatology, I think for a fairly long period of time, till we had Narendra Bagri looking after the clinic, Dr. Kabra was looking after the clinic, and I just chipped in along. So I think for many of us here, he's been the go-to pediatrician for our kids and expert at everything. So it's not just, I think he, as sir would often say, to be a good specialist, you have to be a good pediatrician. And I think he led this by his own example. So in terms of his contributions, briefly, after a fair bit of struggle, we did manage to get our DM program in pediatric pulmonology and intensive care rolling in 2016. Before that, because it was not happening, just to make sure that we kind of spread the word, we had these courses, annual courses, pediatric pulmonology and intensive care courses. He's contributed to multiple training modules, asthma, TB, respiratory tract infections, COVID, and these are modules which are used across the country. And then, as would be there, he has been a resource person for the ministry, various guidelines globally for the WHO, and particularly on global panels of childhood tuberculosis. So this is just a brief get-together that we had of fellows and trainees, not just from within the country, but from the regional, the neighboring countries as well. Research, again, so we have a trinity of mission: clinical care, teaching, research. And here again, he's led multiple funded studies, including trials, cumulative funding of more than 12 crores, maybe the number may be higher, a bit higher than that, does figure in the Stanford's 2% top scientists list. We were recognized as AIIMS Center for Advanced Research, and recently the division was recognized as AIIMS Collaborating Center of Excellence, and this is work which primarily has been led by Sir. So I think it's the multiple things, but we'll just talk about a few. So cystic fibrosis, I think the two names go together in the country: asthma, chronic lung disease, and then on the other side we have high-end tertiary care stuff which is happening, interventional bronchoscopy, various infections, and then also kind of looking at newer conditions, and another one which is primary ciliary dyskinesia. So cystic fibrosis was thought to be uncommon, and Sir led the development of an indigenous sweat collection equipment and titration, using the titration method to estimate the chloride. He's worked with the team at the Southampton, UK, and I think within the country we have the largest CF follow-up, and I can say that probably in the region we have this largest CF follow-up. And also I think the mutation profile was there, and there the better half, Dr. Madhulika, chipped in with this, and now we are doing these analysis regularly. Now, interestingly, this is just to show that that component of innovation and frugal innovation, and something that's been critical. The usual tests for the sweat chloride in the West, typically the equipment would be 20 lakhs or more, and per test cost is 5,000, something that's typical would not be afforded by most of our patients. So we developed a simple device, and I guess you can guess whose hand or whose arm this is. So a lot of this testing have been done in-house. Sir, and also this is, I think, picture, I guess, early 90s part, and we had team Dr. Chris Rolls, and this is the same room with the current office, is the office which he was looking at. This is the older version, And then some of these meetings which we had with the practitioners, pediatricians, and parents. And recently we had this annual CF day, which is a regular feature to talk to the families, talk to the parents. And this is just, I think, a pic with a number of kids with cystic fibrosis. And this is a memento that was presented by among our older of the CF patients who's now working. Apart from that, I think the other thing that's been there is that, we had primary ciliary dyskinesia. So I think we try and put together a diagnostic facility in terms of a high-speed video microscopy, something that, we rarely looked at in terms of as clinicians trying to look under the microscope. But this is what he developed, and this still is on the bench of his office. And now we are working forward to profile them better. Childhood pneumonias, again, multiple contributions, trials, antimicrobial therapy, setting up of ARI treatment unit, just like what was there for diarrhea. And systematic reviews also is what was done to kind of, which led to change in the WHO treatment guidelines and thereon. Infections, I think he was the lead in describing and managing the outbreaks that happened in 87 and 96, went on to this report on myocardial dysfunction and role of platelets. I think TB, the contribution has been enormous, and we also have our collaborator and, I would say a close associate, Dr. Varinder Singh. The two have worked together. We had initial studies to support category-based treatment, role of various diagnostics, pharmacokinetics of antitubercular therapy to support, better drug dosing in children, role of various adjuncts, and again, a systematic review which contributed, at least gave some bit of push to switch from intermittent to daily therapy in the program. And I think this goes on, this innovation. So I think his level of inquisitiveness, curiosity, and innovation, I think it's only increased with time. And just a few years back, described an previously unreported or unrecognized entity, something which is related to lentil aspiration or dal, which is often parents would force feed the child, and these children presented with chronic respiratory symptoms. And then we established a diagnostic for the same at the institute, published an initial series in 2019. And now we have, these cases reported from other parts. Other people also are requesting for help in diagnosis of this condition. Publications, I think that's a huge number, close to 600. In the index journals, there would be many more. H-index of 61, which is huge. And it goes on. Means it's not that, it's over a period of time, the numbers per year actually have increased. In addition, I think serves a major contribution in terms of disseminating the information, so be it pulmonology or intensive care protocols or tuberculosis. These books have been, quite well received by the students and residents and pediatricians. Amongst other hat study viewers is as the editor-in-chief of IJP. He's been associated with the journal for a long time. But over the last few years, he has been the editor-in-chief. And this is a journal which currently enjoys the highest impact factor within the country, the peak being beyond 5. And again, this just speaks of his kind of commitment and involvement in this endeavor as well. Multiple awards, orations. And I think, as was mentioned, he is the go-to person for residents. Amongst the first few interactions is he tells that this is my address, this is my phone number, any time of the day, any time you could call or visit the home. So in doubt, in stress, illness, he is the go-to person. And obviously, when it's holy, residents have a favorite place to go to is Sir's house. So with these few words, on our behalf, we wish you a very healthy and a happy life ahead. And I think it's going to be continue to as productive as it has been. Thank you. Yeah, Nitin.
Thank you, sir. So now I request Professor TTR to say a few words.
Good afternoon, namaskar, all the friends sitting today in this, you can say, celebration of somebody who's done a remarkable work in this institute. Today's main attraction, the chief guest of this function, Dr. Sushil Kabra, Madhulika, and distinguished people sitting here, and two other very senior people from Pediatrics, Dr. Chaudhary and Dr. Srivastav. They may not recognize me, but I've been their student as MBBS student here. And it's a journey which is always gives you a feeling that you have been a part of this great institution. And Dr. Sushil, as we just heard Rakesh talking about his achievements, is remarkable. Very difficult to have such type of academic achievements and person who is loved by everybody. People sitting here, it shows that how popular he would have been, and he remained popular for all of us throughout his life and career. As far as I'm concerned, Sushil and Madhulika have been, in my, you can say, our campus for such a long time. And we became, you can say, neighbors, friends, and they have been great help to my family, my kids. Whenever they had a little bit of problem, they were the next door friendly pediatricians. And there are rare opportunity where you can say thanks, And today I take this opportunity to thank both of you for doing, so much of thing for our institute and for us also. And hope that this relationship continues for a long time. And one of the things, I can say people always have achievements. He has done so much innovations. And today's gathering also, I take this opportunity to say that not only the HOD of pediatrics, you may be the first person to take superannuation in terms of a chairperson of a collegium, which has started in AIIMS. So you may be the first one from that category. And people always, remember, achievement towards end of their whatever time they have spent in the institution. Every day we should be thankful to a person. We should always appreciate the contribution of the person, so that you built your environment in a very friendly manner. And AIIMS has been such institute where we had the culture, the work culture, the atmosphere created by all of us. And hope that what Sushil has done, that continues in the department and the people across the sections of this institute. We have right from the students to name scientists to faculty and other people. They contribute a society, and our society has to be in such a manner where we all feel comfortable and gives you an environment where you can grow, think of achievements, innovations, and contribute as such. Pediatrics is such a department where you don't have to express much, as Madhulika was saying. You have to feel the children. They don't say anything. It is how you see them, how you perceive them, and you treat them. And Sushil has been a master in that. And thank you, Sushil, for doing such a wonderful work. I appreciate everyone will say best of luck, best of health, and remain healthy and be available for all of us. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Sanjeev Lalwani to please say a few words.
All the dignitaries on the dais, senior faculty members, staff. Definitely it is a difficult day for me because Dr. Kabra being the first person as a faculty to whom I met at his residence in E1 when I was junior resident. And since then, he has been a great support, whether it is for the children, whether it is for the parents, whether it is for patient care in hospital related to anybody. So whenever we have approached him, he has been helpful always. And again, the person of his own kind, never aggressive, always cool, calm, talking to the patients and guiding them appropriately. And a number of times you go to him, he will never get irritated, and then he will try to explain to the patient and their attendants. So that is his character, and very great human being. Altogether, over the years, we have been interacting on different occasions, sometimes on food as well. So it has been a pleasant association with you, sir. over the years, and definitely we are going to miss you as a clinician, but simultaneously I have believed that it is just a change of guard, nothing else. We keep on interacting with each other as a human being at a different level, not as a professional, but in different aspects. So from our side, I extend my warm wishes to you and your family, and hope that you will continue your association with us and will keep on guiding us on patient care and other areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So may I now request Professor Arun Srivastava, sir, to say a few words.
Thank you. I remember clearly when you joined the faculty here. It's a long time, but it seems like yesterday. Believe me, it's like yesterday. Much time has passed. Much has been said about him. I have watched his progress from a periphery. But most clearly, I remember him as a very kind, simple, soft-spoken person. There are not many people like him. People are more aggressive, trying to go ahead in many different ways. But he's always been, such a gentle person, really. I hope you still have many years to contribute in different ways, not maybe in a formal research manner, but in many ways you'll contribute. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Professor V.P. Chaudhary, earlier in Department of Pediatrics and Head of Hematology, to say a few words.
Thank you for calling me first to you. It is indeed a very pleasure to be here and at least to come to the institution where I have spent all my life. Many times I say I was born here, means I joined as an undergraduate and superannuated. Today's occasion is, I say, unpleasant because one of our colleagues, when I was working, not colleague, his wife also, Dr. Madhulika and Sushil, joined the institute as faculty members. I distinctly remember in our department when I was here. And then, of course, when I shifted to hematology, he has, such a very soft spoken, kind-hearted, and committed to his profession. That is the beauty what he had. The commitment to the pediatric development, particularly pulmonology. So was his Madhulika. I think Madhu gave a lot of Madhu, the sweetness to him for his to speak. And he has been, I have never seen during my career that whether he spoke in a high tone, he was always very soft-spoken, very easily accessible, and he has spoken all his achievements. And one thing is we have been associated in the journal also, which has got the highest impact factor in the country for any Indian journal. So that was under his leadership, and I think we need to give him a good applause on that. His professional is one, other is a colleagueness, and the third is relationship with the other. And I think he excelled in all the relation, personal relationship, professional, his expertise in his own area. And, whenever I have traveled, everybody within the country and even outside, they have spoken very high of you. I mean, though I never came and told him he so-and-so met me and was talking, but at least today I can say, because I didn't hear anything say anybody in the pediatrics or otherwise saying against him. And everybody appreciated, and I think that is the one. And today you see the hall is full. And moment I got, I said, I'll make it to come. And all I wish you all the best of health. I think after this, the health is most important. Prosperity will follow. And whatever you do in your next endeavors, wherever you work, that institutions will be greatly benefited by your presence and by your commitment. And I'm sure the journal will have higher impact factor, and where at least we will continue to work together. Wish you all the best, and to Dr. Madhulika also, who is going to take over the headship. And of course, he is going to stay here in the campus and will be with us all the time. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So may I now request Professor Arvind Bagga to say a few words?
Good afternoon to all of you. So Sushil and I have worked forever, joining as senior residents and working in different units all this while. I'm sure a lot has been said already about him, but to me the qualities that strike out are the hard work, the consistent hard work, with dedication, transparency in his work, and absolute humility while working. And this humility and Sushil kind of go together. But I must tell you, working as a colleague with him, I also know that behind that humility, or behind that, he's firm within, and you can't just push him around and you can do whatever you want to. So, and I think that has done well for pulmonology, for the department. It has been a blessing for us. He has taken pediatric pulmonology to greater heights. Cystic fibrosis, when we joined, it was a disease that was almost unheard of. But I'm sure, and obviously now it's on the international scene thanks to you and your work. The same is true about his dedication to postgraduate training. All the classes, all morning classes, 8:15 a.m. Madhulika and Sushil will be the only people who are always consistently there. We'll come and go, and I think that nobody can forget. So I think that role that he has played for our postgraduates has been really important. And again, providing a very major source of sympathy and succor for people, who are coming out of Unit 1 and going to Unit 3. So thank you very much. So I think, but you are leaving a rich legacy behind. And I think that the department will continue to get benefit from this legacy. And as a strong pediatrician and as a pulmonologist, I think you have really achieved a lot which many of us would want to achieve. Thank you so much, Sushil.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Shinjini Bhatnagar to say a few words?
इधर से okay. So I go back to Arvind and Sushil, quite ancient now, when we all together in the department, and I don't think he's changed, except for maybe little less and more gray hair, and maybe a little bit more weight. I think you're just the same. And I completely agree with Arvind. When you see him, you feel, oh, you can get past him. He's going to agree to everything you say. And then you realize that he's not a pushover, and he's going to be firmly supporting what he thinks is right. I just have two things to add to what everyone has been saying. One is that coming from a research background, I think he's one person in the department who understood research and still understands research, and supporting the research environment in the department. Thank you so much. The second thing is at the personal level, he has been our children's pediatrician, as many of others in the hall here, and we've disturbed him, Madhulika and him, so many times. He still continues to be their pediatrician, even though they are 40 years, around 35 to 40 years. And I'm hoping that he continues to be their pediatrician when the grandchildren arrive. So all the best, Sushil. I told Arvind this also. Just now, let your hair down. Now enjoy yourself. I think बहुत मेहनत हो गई अब. Enjoy your next innings and have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shinjini. I request Dr. D.K. Sharma, sir, to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chief guest of today's farewell function, Dr. Sushil Kabra, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, seniors, colleagues, friends. I'm indeed very happy to be here amongst you all on the August occasion of bidding farewell to our dear Dr. Sushil Kabra. We have been contemporaries. We joined as faculty assistant professor in 1992, and in 2005, I became medical superintendent, he became professor. And as everybody else has said, that he has been go-to pediatrician for my children also. Whenever there is any problem, not just chest related, anything and everything, I'll just ring him up and he will give a time in his office, in his OPD, in ward, wherever, and he would treat them so well that they were really his fans. And our first major interaction, Sushil, if you recall, was when we went to Lucknow for exam duty in 93, I believe, if I recall correctly. We went for sightseeing besides the exam duty. And since then, we have been good pals. And I had heard about his academics, being an excellent teacher, a fond of residents, and a keen researcher. But the details I have seen just now, because that was never my domain to look into. And besides his clinical research and patient care activities, he has been involved in several committees to assist in hospital administration, and he has always been very, very helpful. On the occasion of his retirement, I wish him best of health and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor Meenu Vajpayee, our ex-dean, former head of pediatric surgery.
A very good afternoon. It's a privilege to come here and speak about Professor Kabra. Two things are very striking about him, and I wanted to mention this, although people have mentioned it already. His persona, his approach to patients, their families, as Rakesh mentioned, to us colleagues, has remained the same ever since I first met him 30 years ago in D5 ward. He was seeing a patient, I met him first, got to know his name, introduced ourselves, and which means he matured rather early. That's why Professor O.P. Gahi had identified him as a potential faculty of the institute when he was examining him in Jaipur. So obviously, Professor Kabra has maintained a dignity which he acquired very early, and that's the reason he maintained it for so many years. And he belonged to a genre of those pediatricians like Professor Srivastav, Professor Chaudhary, Professor Kalra, who became specialists in their fields, but had the grasp of overall pediatrics. And his genre and Arvind, they also maintained the same. I'm sure with time, people will specialize in the area. It will be difficult to find a holistic pediatrician, but I will remember him for that. The other thing was that, as everybody said, Professor Umesh Kapil had come and he said that you have been God to my children. I said he has been God to everybody's children. So not only, and my son was not well and I was pretty kind of panicked, and I talked to him, he listened to me, not only attended to him, he continued to follow up. He even visited our home to make sure that everything is all right. It's something which I can never forget. So Professor Kabra, this institute, like your predecessors, will always remember a person like you who has walked those corridors. I can still remember those corridors of C5 and D5 because I was in EB5. We have moved to mother and child block, but when we talk about pediatrics and pediatric surgery, we remember these doyens. We remember those corridors and beds only. नया वाली चीज अभी strike ही नहीं करती है. So thank you very much. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir. We have a few messages from our senior faculty, and I'd like this opportunity to just play those. So we'll first have the message from Professor I.C. Verma, sir.
Professor Sushil Kabra, Professor Madhulika Kabra, Professor Sushil Kabra, Senior Madhulika Kabra, Professor Pankaj Hari, Senior and Junior Faculty, Junior and Senior Residents, friends and colleagues. To speak on the occasion, it's my pleasure and honor of superannuation to speak Professor Kabra. On the occasion of superannuation from the Department of Professor Chairmanship of the Department of Pediatrics at AIIMS. From the department, from the chairman. After a brilliant career of the Department of Pediatrics. In MBBS at AIIMS. And in MD. After a brilliant career in Jaipur. In MBBS, with a short, and in MD at SMS sojourn in Jaipur. In Ahmedabad. He joined the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in 1992 in Ahmedabad. And he joined the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in 1992 and became a full professor in the year 2007. What a remarkable journey. Looking back on the 30 years of my close and pleasant association with him, I will always remember him as a quiet man with legendary efficiency and a magic touch. It's amazing how he made a success of everything that he took upon himself. First of all, he developed a first-class center for respiratory disorders in pediatric. It was not only the first center, but also the best. He set up the first ICU, pediatric ICU in India. And I remember those early days. When he worked hard to save the lives of many children with severe meningitis, advanced pneumonias, the type who had no chance of survival earlier. It was expected that this development, this interest that he took in developing this specialty will spread, because saving these lives is, after all, what we are fighting for. He wrote a book on pediatric ICU with Dr. Lodha, and this book is selling like hotcakes. The Indian Journal of Pediatrics is regularly supplying this book in thousands to various pharma companies who wanted to distribute it to pediatricians in India. He made AIIMS as the mecca for the care of children with cystic fibrosis. He became an expert in tuberculosis and wrote the most popular book on tuberculosis in India. He made a mark in rheumatology, continued the clinic long run by Dr. Vimlesh Seth and primary immune deficiency disorders. I realized his penchant for writing and invited him to join me in the editorial board of the Indian Journal of Pediatrics. After 5 years of working together, he was appointed as the editor-in-chief of the Indian Journal of Pediatrics. The rest, as I might say, is history, because he made the impact factor of this journal rise to 5.2, which was the highest ever achieved by a medical journal in India. I often scratched my head to work out what he did for this marvelous achievement. And I came to the conclusion that it was innovation. He examined closely the factors that contribute to impact factor, and he worked hard to amplify those areas. What he has achieved in these publications is unparalleled in the field of pediatric publications. Before I end, I must comment on the important and significant contributions made by his better half, Professor Madhulika Kabra, to his success. She has given him excellent support, and I tell you, and this is required. I'm pleased to learn that he will be joining the Apollo group of hospitals, which has many friends from our department and many previous faculty who worked with us. I'm sure he will rapidly develop the skills required for practice in a corporate hospital, because they are different from what you need in working in AIIMS. I wish him success and good health, and hope he will continue to help his colleagues in AIIMS. A plea here to the faculty of the Department of Pediatrics. Please do involve us, the old faculty, in your activities, social and scientific. Important scientific sessions, perhaps please give us a link to the scientific sessions so we can also take part. What one misses as one grows old, like I am, is the creativity of youth. The new ideas only occur to the young. The old get crystallized. These ideas get crystallized. So friends, I close here, and I wish all of you a pleasant and successful journey in the future.
Yeah, so we had this message, and just request Professor Raju Sharma for a few words, and then we'll restart with this proceedings. Yeah.
Thanks, Rakesh. Volumes can be spoken about Dr. Sushil Kabra, and I think enough and more has been said already. On behalf of the Department of Radiology, we are privileged to wish him all the best. We've had a very long relationship because of Dr. Arun Gupta being at the helm of affairs for very long. We had a very close relationship with Dr. Kabra and the entire Department of Pediatrics. So on behalf of my colleagues, sir, I wish you all the very best. Wish good luck to Madhulika for taking over. We wish you Godspeed and good health.
Thank you. I'll now, Dr. Paul is traveling and he has sent his message, so I'll just share that first.
Director AIIMS, Professor M. Srinivas ji, respected Professor Sushil Kabra ji, respected Dr. Madhulika Kabra ma'am, Professor M. Distinguished faculty of the Department of Pediatrics, Professor Sushil Kabra ji, respected Dr. Madhulika Kabra ma'am, distinguished faculty of the Department of Pediatrics, AIIMS, faculty of AIIMS, dear residents, nurses, staff members, and students. I am very delighted and truly honored to be a part of the farewell event of our dear Dr. Kabra. I would have very much liked to be present personally, physically, but due to a pre-committed visit, official visit to Lucknow, it has not been possible. But I am happy that I am reaching out to all of you to say a few words about Dr. Kabra through the VC. We truly are proud of the legacy of Dr. Kabra. He joined this institute in 1987, and I've had a continuous opportunity to work with Sushil in various capacities, and above all, as a very dear colleague, a senior colleague, and a person whom I adore. Dr. Kabra picked up on the legacy of Dr. Ambukali Chetty, who was working in the area of respiratory disease in the department under the leadership of Dr. O.P. Khai. Dr. Kabra pursued relentlessly the specialty of pediatric pulmonology, established it in full, robust manner, clinical, laboratory, research, and teaching and beyond. And in doing so, he set new standards. He is the last word in pediatric pulmonology for us. His contribution to cystic fibrosis in particular is notable because that changed the paradigm, the Indian paradigm of this disease entity. I admire him and applaud him for that stellar work. He is the last word on asthma of children. Through his writings in Essential Pediatrics, which I have the honor of editing, his message of how to treat children with asthma in particular and pulmonary diseases in general is honing the skills and learning and knowledge of generations of our medical and nursing students. Dr. Kabra, you also worked relentlessly on very important pediatric infectious diseases. I'm very proud of your work. You worked on pediatric TB, you worked on dengue, chikungunya, HIV, and in recent times, you were the top expert guiding us on COVID-19 disease in children. Through your work, you have impacted and steered national and global clinical SOPs and guidelines. We are very proud you have taken the legacy of the institute where it belongs, not only on the national platform, but truly at the global platform in your area of work. Your work in starting the DM course in pediatric pulmonology and ICU is another very important achievement, that a very notable achievement, historic achievement led by you. You also provided stellar leadership in the footsteps of our respected Professor Ishwar Verma in giving time, energy, ideas to the journey of Indian Journal of Pediatrics in the country. It's a great journal. It has been honed and nurtured in the department by Dr. Verma. And through this journal, you are taking forward science and art of pediatrics to generations of pediatricians and more. I admire specifically two very important qualities in you. As a dear colleague, a friend, a person with whom you connect body, you connect soul, you connect heart, mind. And the two attributes that I would like others to emulate, seeing that being practiced by you as a role model, are the following. One, your simplicity, your honesty, your integrity, your humility, and your concern for the weak, your love and care for the weak, whether it is a weak patient, a patient coming from a poor family whom you treat as a VIP in your life, that's what you have done, or a student who is meandering in a difficult scenario of complex AIIMS, particularly in the early stages of work in the institute. You've been a very gentle soul, helping the weak to gain from the opportunities that AIIMS offers. So your voice for the weak impresses me, and I take clues from that conduct of yours for myself. You emerged as a strong physician scientist in your journey, sir. And the second thing I admire in you, that as you emerge as a physician scientist, as a role model clinician, I learn from you the worth of hard work and the character of hard work and your commitment to hard work. And hard work which is led by passion, and hard work that also shows that superb quality in your performance, is worth emulating by all of us. And I draw lessons from the way you have worked hard in your life as a clinician, as a scientist, as a teacher, as a colleague, as a pillar of the Department of Pediatrics. I urge all of us to take that lesson from Sushil. And in doing so, Sushil, you have excelled and matched the culture of AIIMS, because the culture of AIIMS is about excellence and hard work and contribution to science and humane care. So you are a role model for all of us, imbibing and practicing the culture of AIIMS, the very essence of AIIMS that we all got as a legacy. But you also ensure that you strengthen that legacy yourself through your work. So I admire you for ensuring that the department, and through you as a pillar of the department, the legacy and the brand of the institute has been followed in letter and spirit. And indeed, you added additional polish, additional illumination to that legacy through the life that you led here as a professional. Dear Sushil, I'm honored and privileged to be your friend, your teacher, for a short while at least, as a senior colleague. I'm honored. Shashi joins me to wish you a great future. We are proud of your work. The nation is proud of your work. You are a very able citizen of India, son of India. And I urge you that in your next phase of your work, which must continue, you please continue to teach students. Please pick up a vocation wherein you not only look after patients, but also teach students, because students will learn from you excellence and values, and you would create role models for future.
Right. So now I would we have Dr. Singhi online with us, and he's the former head of pediatrics at PGI Chandigarh. I'd request him to say a few words. Are we audible?
Are you able to see me?
Yes, sir.
Hi,
Sir, this is
Rakesh.
fine.
Thanks
Yes,
for giving me the opportunity. Can you hear me? To Dr. Kabra, congratulations.
Are you able to see me?
Really heartiest congratulations that you had such a great, successful career. To Dr. Kabra, and a fulfilling one on top of really it. Heartiest congratulations. Where Such a you have helped great, so many successful career, thousands and thousands, and a fulfilling one on top it had of been it. Where you have helped so many thousands and thousands, and it had been a great pleasure for an honor for me to witness your progress and your dedication and hard work to promote pediatrics, pediatric pulmonology, and also the Indian Journal of Pediatrics. Having you as an examiner at Chandigarh and working with you as a co-examiner was a great pleasure. It was something that really everyone should watch. I had the privilege to watch you conduct practical examinations in a serene, compassionate, and very helpful manner that would put young residents at ease, having probably not even feeling that they are during examination, perhaps only on a round. My association with you during Dr. K.C. Chaudhary Foundation, I also found your hard work, your attention to details, your dedication to the cause of pediatrics are exemplary, and not many would have that in the current times. I'm sure your true contribution is to those countless number of patients that you have cared for, especially as had been already mentioned about various diseases, especially the cystic fibrosis. And thousands of your students who have trained with you and have got inspired by you and are now well-accomplished leaders in their field. I believe that everyone can learn from you. Learn from you about how to help residents, how to be compassionate to them, and how they can be taught effectively without creating stress. I appreciate that whenever I sought your help in managing some of the patients when I was at Medanta or now, you had always been forthcoming and said, sir, Wednesday or Saturday ko bhej dijiye. And it was so simple. I always found it admirable that how you could find time out of such a busy and packed schedule that you have. Knowing you, I'm sure that even after a busy and a long career at AIIMS, you're not going to retire. Your simplicity, humility, hard work, compassion, and kindness, they had been always touching to me. And I am sure in the time to come, you will continue to enrich pediatrics and pediatric patients. And the young pediatricians, as Dr. Paul said, continue to teach them and show, and they would imbibe from you the qualities that you have. I hope that while doing all this, you'll find now a little bit more time for personal, for the things that you haven't been really able to find much time, and pursue your passions other than pediatrics. I wish you good health, long life, and much happiness with your family and friends. And Dr. Madhulika, particularly, I'm sure she would soon find some more time from him. Thank you, thank you. And I know that you would be quite happy with the legacy you're leaving with Dr. Kabra, with Dr. Rakesh Loda, who probably has inherited almost all the qualities that you have.
I request Dr. Veena Kalra ma'am to say a few words.
Thank you, Rakesh. Professor S.K. Kabra. Sushil, as your name goes, I think you are really an embodiment of humility, diligence, absolutely stark intelligence, and devotion. I think most of all, it's your devotion to the cause, whether it be pediatrics, whether it be setting up the ICU, whether it be writing a book, whether it be to students, and in every way of life. I think you have really excelled. We are extremely proud of you. We remember you coming in as a really quiet, humble person, not knowing what strengths, innate strength and qualities you possessed within, which only flowered as we watched you over the years. Wish you all the best, and I'm sure you'll make a mark wherever you go. That is Apollo, a much needed place in the corporate world where I think a lot of qualities and education needs to be enhanced. Wish you all the best and wish Madhulika all the best in life. We are extremely proud of you, and I think we've really heard a lot. So I wouldn't like to say further, except that all that has been said is still inadequate for you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll just share a message from Dr. Deorari, sir.
My dear friends and colleagues, Dr. Sushil Kabra is superannuating after 3 decades of a remarkable journey. Dr. Kabra is epitome of simplicity, sincerity, hard work, and selfless service. Dr. Kabra, USP has been serving the patients with humility, without any discrimination. He would examine patients in queue only, with utmost dedication, with a deep sense of service. Sushil's contribution during COVID pandemic is remarkable, as he spearheaded the team to develop national COVID guidelines for children. You upheld the flag of AIIMS. You put patients before self and came to hospital wearing 4-layered mask. Being your senior colleague, I can vouch. Whatever work was assigned to you, you did it with full dedication, meticulously, and as a perfectionist. Under your leadership, pediatric pulmonology grew leaps and bounds, and you were able to initiate DM program at the institute. You have been mentor and guide to student and never lost temper. Because of your helpful, compassionate nature, you have been favorite among all the students. Your students are going to miss you terribly. Sushil, you are never going to retire, but like old wine, going to blossom more and more. You are leaving behind a great legacy
professional and, an advancement in the field as such. I think working closely with him, much has been said, the positive qualities which one could imbibe, as you are going ahead are truly phenomenal. And I would like to wish all the best to sir and look forward to your continued guidance, because I think the insights which you have for the specialty as a pediatric pulmonology, there's much more which will be novel and help children, which will come out from your insights. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Karan. Dr. Pramod Garg.
सब छोटी सी बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि आप एक रेयर ब्रीड को बिलोंग करते हैं. मैं समझता हूँ ट्रायड ऑफ क्वालिटीज़ हैं सर. ह्यूजली कॉम्पिटेंट, टोटल कमिटमेंट, एंड आई थिंक अबव ऑल अ थॉरो जेंटलमैन. मेरे ख्याल में एक दो लोग के नाम और ध्यान में आएंगे इस कैटेगरी में, डॉक्टर सुनेश कुमार, डॉक्टर सिद्धार्थ दत्ता, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली आई डोंट थिंक आई कैन काउंट मैनी अदर्स. एक वो एटम बॉम्ब पे पिक्चर आई थी, उसमें कहा था ब्रिलियंस इज कॉमन इन योर सर्कल्स, एक डायलॉग था उसमें. तो कॉम्पिटेंस आई थिंक इज कॉमन इन एम्स, बट आई थिंक द अदर क्वालिटीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इट हैज़ बीन एन ऑनर टू नो यू. आई विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट, एंड इफ यू एवर नीड अस, वी आर देयर, but I hope never. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dr. Sinu, okay, I don't. So I would now request Professor Varinder Singh, I think, who has had a very close association with Dr. Kabra, working in common fields. And yeah.
Thank you. At the outset, thank you for calling me in, because one of the desire which is unfulfilled, because now Dr. Kabra is leaving, was to be his student. So, which I could never be. But I had a lot of informal education, having traveled with him. And therefore, I also have one advantage which many of you do not have. That is to have seen him outside of AIIMS and his impact outside of AIIMS, which not many people talk about. So much of things have been said about him, that he is very down to earth, he is very diligent, commonplace, so what? I only know 2 D's about him. The first D is disruptive. And you would say, a gentleman and disruptive? How is that possible? He's disruptive because he does not stay within boundaries of established thoughts. He thinks beyond. Everybody says cystic fibrosis, sweat chloride, so what? Cystic fibrosis is not a disease which is killing people in this country. So what's the big deal if Dr. Kabra has made a machine? The big deal is we did not know how much it is there in our country. When you have 1.4 billion people, even if it is 1 in 10,000, it's still many people, many lives. I have traveled with him across country on various occasions, shared room with him, which is a little painful because he gets up very early in the morning and starts working. And what is more painful is, while you are trying to put your latest thought into your talk, which you will barely finish 10 minutes before you have to deliver it, his has been done several days back. So he makes you feel small. And then he's working on, you were asking how he did so well for the journal. That's what he would do in the morning. डॉक्टर साहब क्या कर रहे हैं? यार कुछ थोड़ी सी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट आई है, मैं देखता हूँ इनका क्या करना. So that was Dr. Kabra, but his disruptive ideas make him a little distinguished from many people here or all over, I know. We all develop new things. It's fine. We write few papers. We are known as luminaries. It goes in the field. But that's where it stays. Not for Dr. Kabra. He shared. He is one person who believed and actually lived. The fact that Saraswati बांटने से बढ़ती है. And he shared his thoughts without any judgment who it is going to, whether it will be, with the belief ये ठीक है, अच्छा ही करेंगे. वो कई बार मुझे बहुत अजीब लगता था when I joined, came to know of him, ये इतनी हर चीज़ सबको क्यों दे देते हैं? थोड़ा जज तो करें. ये आदमी दूसरा आदमी तो कमर्शियल है या जैसा भी है, टोटली नॉन जजमेंटल, पूछना ही, दे दो, देखते हैं. जैसे भगवान ने हमें सब कुछ दे दिया, ये उसी तरह से अपनी सारी चीज़ें, सब कला आगे बांट देते थे. ये दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स which if we talk of legacy, but if you ask me, that's a legacy we should take from him and distribute, because that is how lives are impacted and affected. I have seen now When I was with him, एक चीज़ और बड़ी दर्दनाक होती थी. वो किस तरह से दर्द होता था कि आप शाम को कहीं घूमने का प्रोग्राम रहने डॉक्टर साहब का सेटल होता था, यार मेरे ना 2-3 पेशेंट आने वाले थे. ये आप तो कोयम्बटूर में बैठे हो, यहाँ आपके पेशेंट कहाँ? वो आए थे ना, तो मैंने कहा अगली विजिट में इतनी दूर वो कहाँ आएंगे, मैं यहीं देख. कमाल है, मतलब यहाँ भी इनको फुर्सत नहीं है और इन्हें मालूम है ये वहाँ जा रहे हैं और he has called those patients and is looking after them. But today that queue has shrunken, not because his impact has shrunken, because he has cloned his people, he has allowed that technology, allowed that thing to carry on and be with more people. So that's what makes him distinguished and disruptive in a different way. When I was at school, my teacher used to say, do not build castles in the air. But when I met Dr. Kabra, I learned it's okay to build castles in the air if you have a thought to put foundations under them. He could always dream big. That's fine. Many of us dream big. But he not only dreamed big, he lived them. He ensured those dreams were no more dreams, they were real. And DM, pediatric pulmonology, is one way. We talk of cystic fibrosis, sweat chloride. What about impact on PCD diagnosis, impact of so many diseases which were there just as a differential diagnosis in the book, which now an average pediatric pulmonologist in India could say, okay, no, we can do this test. That's how it is done. And done in a way that it is low cost, it's available. Remarkable. So, sir, for me, you are a couple of years senior to me, but you were always Kabra ji. You were not Sushil. You were not Dr. Kabra. You were always Kabra ji, and so you would stay. I can only say that I learned a lot of things from you, and I am only grateful for all the time you were with me. And I wish I could join AIIMS and be your student. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But जहाँ भी जा रहे हैं वहाँ ले जाइएगा साथ में. Lastly, I wish you all the best for your next part of whatever you have decided, what you want to, wherever you want to teach or practice medicine or not practice medicine, whatever you do, take care of yourself, take care of madam as you always have been, and Kaki, and everything else. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you. So as Nitin sitting with me tells me that on a recent trip to Bangladesh, he saw 30 patients there as well. So now I'd call upon Dr. Nikhil Tandon to say a few words. Yeah.
It will be a few words. This looks like the crowd outside Sushil's OPD room. And I don't think I'll take more time. It's just to say that people have known him longer, people have known him in more detail. And so I won't go into a description of his virtues, except to say, for me, he's just an incredibly nice human being. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful person, and all the very best for what's going to happen from tomorrow. And as Pramod said, we'll still be here, but we hope you don't need us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So maybe I'll just take a couple of messages which are in the waiting. So I think I'll first have an audio message from Dr. Yogesh. Again, I think has had very close association. He's not able to join in person.
On this day when on this day when my main mentor in life, Dr. Sushil Kabra, is superannuating, I wish to use this opportunity to express, which is something which he may not like otherwise, gratitude for making, a doctor from a pediatric or a medical student that I was before I started working with him. I was one of the earliest mentees that he had. Of which there has been a long list, that comes down to the year 2023, when he's superannuating from the job that he's been holding for last 31 years at AIIMS. And I want to use this opportunity to express this gratitude in form of telling, how I learned the trade of pediatrics or in medicine. I learned from, a large number of people. But in understanding about the social aspects of ill health and how people cope up with it, and to understand poverty is something that I would, like to give him the credit for teaching me, as well as to allow me to be on a journey that I took on in life after I moved away from AIIMS. And here I would just like to also learn that the one very important thing, which is how can one improve upon one's basic, one's problems, one's shortcomings, if one has any. Even for a person like Dr. Sushil Kabra, it may not be common knowledge for most of you that what he told me himself was that he was known as a very short-tempered and maybe ill-tempered person when he was training himself as a pediatrician, doing his post-graduation in Jaipur. And while he was known very well there, even for his academic skills, but people counted him as a short-tempered person. And this changed when he met his partner in life, our Professor Madhulika. And then he worked on this aspect when he learned it, when he heard one patient, complain about him without come to him about he himself, not knowing that he was talking to the Dr. Sushil Kabra that he was complaining about. And this led to Dr. Sushil Kabra to evolve, and he worked on it so well that I think that must be the reason for your surprise that all of you might have now, to believe that he was once upon a time known as a person who had a short temper. So with all these, with this thing.
So we managed to have a message from a collaborator, Dr. Gary Connet at Southampton.
Now,
Hi, Sushil. It's Gary
embark
here.
upon.
Rakesh.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Sushil. It's Gary here. Rakesh told me about your superannuation. I wanted to take the chance to say a big hello and thank you from all your friends and colleagues here in the UK. You should be rightly proud of your huge achievements, not just in cystic fibrosis, but so much you've done to benefit young people with pediatric respiratory diseases.
And another video message from Dr. Shankar.
I wish
Hello,
you
Dr.
a very
Kabra.
good future. I hope I see you sometime soon. All the best now. Bye.
Hello, Dr. Kabra. This is Shankar from Philadelphia. It gives me great pleasure to congratulate you on this amazing occasion of celebrating your 4 decades of meaningful and significant contribution to pediatric healthcare in India and your innings at AIIMS. I remember having met you when I was very young and you were young, when you joined as a registrar and I was a junior resident. You taught me so much, and you changed the way I practice medicine. You touched my life and made me what I am today. I can't forget the immense amount of brilliance and knowledge you possess and hide it so well beneath such a calm and humble exterior. Your humility, your honesty, your patience, your kindness to people and families and patients was exemplary, and I have learned so much from you. You have contributed so much, not only to individual patients that have been touched by you, but you have trained a whole generation of eminent pediatricians who are carrying on your legacy all around the world. And this is amazing. I hope you celebrate this moment and take some time to enjoy. And after that, hopefully you can contribute even further to advancing pediatric healthcare in the world. And congratulations to Dr. Madhulika also for having supported you and having stood by you and this phenomenon.
Now, Dr. Anant Mohan, Head of Pulmonary Medicine, to say a few words.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think everybody has talked about their experiences. My experiences are very similar to what most of you had. I remember him as a great human being. Apart from his clinical excellence, his academics, his research, we all know that. There's no doubt. But as a human being, and he's also the doctor of my family, my entire family. So like he is to so many of yours. And I used to call him in the middle, not in the middle at least, but several times late at night, early morning, anytime. Always he's there, and always, as everybody said, so accessible, so down to earth. I think these are the memories that I will take from him. And I think also I would like to imbibe much of the qualities, all these qualities, all of us should. The humility, dedication, passion. I think the same, sir. My children still they remember you. Actually, they many times say, sir, उनसे बात कर लो जरा ये एक बार ना. When I tell them, okay, now you are 18, you are 20, he's still having allergic rhinitis. Okay, take this. एक बार sir, एक बार पापा उनसे बात कर लो. So now, so they are still, he's still pediatrician and doctor to them. They are still kids. They don't, I mean, kind of, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर वाली बात ना. So एक बार उनसे बात कर लो, okay, I'll confirm and then I'll get back to you. So that settles them. So again, thank you so much, sir, for being there, and all the very best. Of course, we are here and we'll always be in touch with you, and please do keep coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. We also have today with us Dr. Tanu Singhal, an alumnus from the department. She's traveled from Mumbai for this occasion. I request her for a few words.
It's indeed an honor to come, and I didn't know I would be asked to speak, so I really don't know what to say. But when I joined AIIMS in 1995, sir was the first person I met, and I had come from Jaipur, and it was like, I would like to speak as a resident. We really learned a lot from him and Madhulika ma'am, and we were working in the ICU during the dengue epidemic, and sir and ma'am were always with there, and that was one of the most difficult times I remember. And over the next 6 years, while I was here, I was always, sir, you helped us in everything, and it was indeed an honor. And a lot of what I am today is actually because of whatever I've learned from you. And so many of my other teachers are here, so I would like to acknowledge them. Dr. Srivastav, Dr. Bagga, Dr. Kalra, all of you have made me the person I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanu. So I think I'll now call upon our nursing staff. I think the erstwhile C5 ward, I think that's how we'll look at it right now. I guess there are multiple wards, but would be a bit difficult. To come forward with their teams, and if they have a message for sir. Yeah, they are just on the way.
I'm sure there are so many people here in the audience whose children have been treated by Dr. S.K. Kabra. My wife is a pediatrician. Still, when our daughter needed admission, you can imagine under whom she was admitted. That's all that I would like to say. And he was always an accessible person, and he was the most accessible person. And we rang him up, and our daughter was admitted under him.
Thank you, sir. So we have the teams, nursing, which is our key strength. Yeah. So teams from the ward, ICU, neonatal ICU, OPD, Sister Sridevi, our respiratory nurse. We also have our technical staff, Anil Sharma ji, Sudesh ji, Vinod. सपने को बुलाना है और कोई बोलना चाहेगा तो फिर भी लास्ट टाइम to speak.
Now, I'll request faculty from our department. So I request Dr. Pankaj Hari to say a few words.
So many people waiting to speak. Maybe we could have taken a back seat. So my association with Dr. Kabra has been for more than 35 years. And he has been my senior resident when I was in department as a junior resident when I joined. And I do remember that he would lead the whole unit for lunches and dinners, something that has become very unusual these days. And something else that I would like to tell, but not many people would be knowing, of course, the very senior faculty members would know, the ex-faculty members, that Dr. Kabra, when he joined, that he wanted to be a nephrologist. And but the department demanded that he should take care of the pulmonology. And he shouldered that responsibility so well, and he's taken pulmonology to new heights. So thank you very much, sir, for taking care of pulmonology. In addition, I would like to say one more thing, that we have all talked about that he's so polite and a humble person. And he also is very worried about not hurting anybody. So the whole faculty would remember that he would send an email asking for Chama Yachna on one particular day. And that perhaps is in that faith of yours that you would send that, asking everybody to forgive. And that, again, the same thing in the morning, also when we all met in the handing over ceremony, that you would say that मुझसे कोई गलती हो गई तो मुझे माफ कर देना. But so, sir, you have been a very thorough gentleman, very grounded person, and I wish you all the best in your future life, and a very healthy life, and all kind of success in your second innings. Thank you very much.
Yes, as Pankaj said, I think I would like to take a back seat, and I think I would now request Dr. Lalitar, Head of Microbiology, to say a few words.
Seniors, colleagues, friends. So, the thing is, everybody has told you everything about him, I think, by now. And according to me, he's one person who commands respect without ever having asked for it. And I've been trying to get to the personality you have, and I'm just not able to figure out how you do it, sir. You belong to a generation which doesn't exist anymore, and is desperately needed in these times. And I also know that you are going to a corporate setup. I don't think a corporate setup will ever change you. In fact, it is more likely that you might bring about changes in them which are desirable. So thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Shiv Chaudhary, sir.
Good afternoon. I don't have stature to comment about Kabra sir's intellect, professional competence, and academic achievement. I will only comment few things in which he had touched my life. He is my elder brother and my local guardian. And I'm sure that I'm not alone in believing this. There may be so many others who believe the same. Second thing I would like to emphasize, he is very caring. If somebody is sick at home, he knows and takes more care than I do. And I would just tell you one episode. It was probably the time of COVID. I was out of station. Everybody was down with COVID at home. And then he brought home cooked food to my house. And I'm sure that no one else but Kabra sir himself would have cooked that food and brought home. So you can understand his caring nature. This was at personal level. The other thing which I would suggest to all my younger faculty colleagues and residents is his commitment about patient. From his unit, I never received a blue consultation form to see any patient. He would always pick up phone and call. And he would reciprocate the same if we send a message to see some patient. Rest assured that the date in calendar will not change before he himself would see the patient. He would never send any resident to see and comment or anything. He will come himself personally. So these are few aspects, and most of other things you all know. And I would only say that we are going to miss you, sir. But pray to God that he keeps, I believe he is he, that he keeps us together. Thank you very much, sir.
Now I request Dr. Rachna Seth ma'am to say.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sir, my association, if you can recollect, actually almost spans 2 decades when I joined as a senior resident in this same unit, that was Unit 3. And interactions with you have taught me, besides, I don't want to dwell on the academic aspects which have been really discussed in detail. They've really taught me much more. Like, I think some attributes which I wish to mention in this forum was being available for a patient all the time, or for a resident, or just being available in the department makes a lot of difference. It gives really a sense of lot of assurance to all of us here. Even if you're very busy, you'll always find time practicing empathy towards patients, their family, the value of teamwork, discipline, time management, and punctuality, which have served me in good stead all these years. Your dedication to job already highlighted timeless hard work, professionalism, integrity, all combined with your gentle bedside manners. Few which I really sort of adhere to is never talk to a patient or the attendant, and especially if you're breaking up bad news while he's standing. He'll always make an effort to make the patient and the family sit and then only break the news. So I think these are some attributes which I've imbibed, and I wish to, give it to the residents and to the other fraternity here. I think that is, and you'll always be remembered for these enales in this faculty, in this entire faculty and the hospital. On a personal note, as everybody's highlighted, you being the only pediatrician to both our children. And if you can recollect, sir, my son was very sick while taking his 12th boards. In fact, you remembered the schedule of his exams, and you would make a personal call, and you also offered to visit our home to see if he was doing well, and for which I really thank you immensely. And as you embark on this new phase of your life, I wish you peace, happiness, prosperity, good health, and may you achieve everything as has been wished by all of us. And so do continue your association with the unit and the department. Thank you very much.
Now I request Dr. Shefali Gulati.
Good afternoon, everyone. Besides the few words which come to my mind, few words will be repeated, some may not. is dedication, hard work, honesty, sincerity, empathy, humanism, and he is very, very intelligent, professional par excellence, an amazing human being. And I do miss the dinners and all which we had. And sir used to be involved in cooking also, along with ma'am. And the Shama Yachna thing already mentioned by Dr. Pankaj Hari, always September, sir, if I'm right. September was the time, and again this morning. And my mother has always said, she's always said that you should not lose your temper and you should learn from Dr. Kabra and Mrs. Dr. Kabra. How can they have a cool? Because if I try to justify some losing my temper, so I have been also working on it, sir, but obviously far from your this thing. You are a role model in all domains of life. And I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for the support you have provided for my son, who we almost lost at the time of his birth and many times thereafter. Now he's 16 years plus, and besides the neonatal care which Professor Paul had led, you and Dr. Sandeep Agarwal have been involved in helping me in supporting in all those over 500 days he must have been hospitalized under you or Dr. Sandeep Agarwal. And my heartfelt gratitude for the support, not only for medical care, but otherwise. And I wish you very best all, and God bless you and have a long life, and need your blessings, support, and guidance all along, sir. And I would like to express that if any mistake I have done, I would be, I seek your forgiveness and seek your blessings and support all your life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Ramesh Agarwal to share his thoughts.
मैं सर छोटी सी आपको बताता हूँ सर 99 I joined DM as the first candidate, and sir being the senior from SMS, so was a go-to person. And there was a senior, sir was approximately 10 years senior to me, so there was a person who was 5 years senior to me, and sir was 5 years senior to him, Dr. Lalit Mohan Sharma sir. And then I went to him, तो कहते हैं कि चल काबरा बोस के पास चलते हैं. And sir took us to the faculty room, and कोई बात नहीं है, simple होगा, कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है. कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं पूछेंगे वाइवा में, सिलेक्शन हो गया डिपार्टमेंट वाइवा. एंड एक सवाल जरूर सोच के जाना कि वो पूछेंगे कि लो कॉस्ट अफोर्डेबल नियोनेटल केयर कैसे प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं कंट्री में. तो मैंने कुछ सोचा, एंड आफ्टर जब व्हेन इंटरव्यू स्टार्टेड, डॉक्टर विमलेश सेठ ने ओपन किया एंड देन हैंडेड ओवर टू डॉक्टर पॉल फॉर द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. And there comes the first question, that how do you provide affordable neonatal care? And thereafter, sir was guardian, and सबके pediatrician sir रहे हैं सबके बच्चों के, and the same was true for me also. Our older son would fall sick, and then we would come to him. But the remaining story may not have happened with you. All of children have been treated by him. But after some time, my wife was having reactive air disease, then started treating, was being treated by sir. And, whenever I would have some illness, then again sir was there. So from a pediatrician, he became a family physician. And, everyone knows that he's an astute clinician and a great human being. And to me, sir, you were the benchmark for a physician, the person who has not only the deep knowledge, but, the socio-cultural, environmental context in which you see the patient and the way you treat the patient. And I think, sir, मुझे तो शायद एक I love to, born again to be like you, a physician like you, that is perhaps not possible in this life. But and then second is, the human being. And I think that is even more important than being a great physician, a person of golden heart. And he touched everyone's life, interacted on so many occasions. And last 1 month, 1.5 months in a new role also, a lot of interaction with them. So you feel that empathy, compassion, So, sir, my all the best wishes to you. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Juma to please say a few words.
Good afternoon, sir. So a lot has been talked about his national and international achievements, and he is a global pediatrician and a global pulmonologist. But I would like to share my personal experiences with sir. I have been associated with sir since 2005 when I joined as senior resident, but more so when I joined as a pool officer in 2009. And during our struggling years as senior resident and pool job, we are often stressed, unable to handle workplace tensions and our academic work. And sir was always the go-to person. Whenever there was a problem I faced, it would be sir who would give me advice to deal with it. He would always be just a phone call away, whether it is morning, night, evening, anytime. And when I had to join AIIMS in 2014, I was in a great dilemma because there was a post in the gastro, in the PEDS gastro had to be covered. And I was in a dilemma whether to join and work in gastro because my profession was pediatric intensive care. And it was a very crucial period for me. And it was sir and, of course, Rakesh sir who helped me get through this. And I could continue working in the field of, in my field of field. And also I supported the gastro department. So my decision to join AIIMS largely dependent on the support that I got from sir. So he helped me negotiate a very difficult part of my life. And subsequently, I grew as a professional under the mentorship, guidance, and love and affection of sir and our team. The freedom and the liberty that I'm sure Dr. Kanaram also would share the same thing that we got in this unit to do the kind of research that we are doing is unparalleled. I have been in other institutes, but the amount of freedom that we got to do and to follow our dreams is something which I'll always be grateful to. And I am thankful to both Kabra sir and Rakesh sir for the same. They have nurtured young faculty like us, and sir has always been my role model in academics, in kindness, in giving. He'll just give. He just knows to give. He never thinks, what am I going to get in return? So there has never been a point where sir has ever expected anything from in return. His kindness, his simplicity, and his humility. These are qualities which we all try to imbibe, sir, from you. And apart from these, there are numerous other qualities which is very difficult for us. But we will try to follow the path that you have led us through. And I had a lot of personal turmoil last few years, and like a pillar, sir stood by my side along with my team to help me tide over this crisis. And there have been numerous times in the last few years when I have I have also had feeling to quit. But I am here standing today because of this great mentor and the love and support of this great mentor and my team. And I would finally like to conclude by saying that, sir, my parents gave birth to me, but with your guidance, I am who I am today, and I shall forever be indebted to you. And we are really going to miss you, sir, and it is going to be AIIMS' loss and Apollo's gain. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Kanaram Jat to say a few.
So day will be less if we started counting the party of the sir. So a lot of already said. So I want to add the few more qualities. One thing, if you want to get the work done from someone else, what will sir never will scold. He will do that work himself. So next time the person will do himself or herself. So in this regard, I have the one incident. Remember when I joined the new faculty 2014 and 15. So Paul sir said me give him one work to get the sign in equipment file from the Safdarjung hospital. So sir idea that I will know some faculty there. So sir said to me to get the sign. So on that day it was OPD. So I requested Manju ma'am in the office to send the someone from the office to get the sign. Because only equipment file. But evening I came to know that I don't know how the Kabra sir came to know that I have asked someone to get the sign. So sir himself go to the Safdarjung to get the sign from the own equipment file. A second instance regarding the patient care. So we can't paralyze in the patient care. So even in the summer vacation, winter vacation, sir will never miss the chest clinic and TB clinic. Even if you want to go outside for the AIIMS, he will plan his schedule. That he will leave either Friday afternoon after TB clinic or Saturday, and he will come back before the next Thursday, so he can attend the chest clinic. And regarding the patient care, one day one child was waiting in the casualty for admission. We all know that it's very difficult to get the bed in the AIIMS. One child was CF waiting in the 65 days of waiting in the casualty. He didn't get the bed. And next day on the rounds, sir came to know that another child was admitted in the ward. Sir asked why did he get the admission? So the agent said, sir, is there some known to the some in AIIMS? That's why he got the bed. Then sir said, ask the casualty people that CF child is known to me. Please give him bed. So this is a dedication of sir for the CF patients. And in the anything, whenever sir is alone, either another SR faculty on the leave, whenever we ask for the leave, he will say never no. But just no worries, we will take care. You can go on the leave. Either clinic, OPD day, he will never say no for another leaves. So it will be our loss if sir is leaving us. We miss very much, and I wish sir with a very happy and the healthy life ahead. Thank you very much, sir.
Now I request Dr. Vijay Mathur from CDER, please. Probably sir has left. So I request Dr. Sumita to please say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm one of the sir's PhD student, and I've been associated with sir for the past 24 years, and he has been the best teacher of my life. And I have known him as the most humble, kind, and kind-hearted person. And sir will miss you, and our patients would also miss you a lot. And sir, there are a few lines for you. वक्त की हो धूप या तेज हो आंधियां, वक्त की हो धूप या तेज हो आंधियां, कुछ कदमों के निशा कभी नहीं खोते, जिन्हें याद करके मुस्कुरा दे ये आंखें, वो दूर होकर भी कभी दूर नहीं होते. But we'll still miss you, sir. We'll miss you. Thank you.
Sir, Dr. Tamari.
Thank you, Dr. Loda. अब तक तो आपने इनका जो है डॉक्टर काबरा का यहाँ का सुना. मैं सर इज माय mentor, guide, teacher, everything. What I am today is because of him. He inspired me. He's very sincere. I met him when we were student, undergraduate student in hostel. He was, we were together, neighbor in the hostel, SMS Medical College. Very sincere, shy, किसी से ज़्यादा बात नहीं करना. But as a person, is very sincere, hard working. और एक इनका क्वालिटी, कोई बात हम कह रहे हैं तो इनको अच्छा लग रहा है, बुरा लग रहा है, यू कांट जज. मतलब हमें खुद को कभी कभी महसूस होता है हमने गलत तो नहीं बोल दिया कहीं. He never express. So that's his quality. And knowledgeable. He is a gold medalist of his batch. And we also become jealous later on. Madhulika is our batchmate. So it was surprise for us. They married and today they are together. So, so sir, congratulations for illustrious career and all the best. And thank you very much. और guide करते रहिएगा अभी भी मेरे को.
Thank you, sir. So now I'd like to invite Dr. Akshita, who's a DM Fellow in Pediatric Pulmonology and Intensive Care.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening to all. So, as sir students, we've always marveled at sir's knowledge of the subject, and his rounds have been the greatest learning resource for us. But on the rounds, we've learned pediatric pulmonology. We've learned that our patients do not have ceftriaxone deficiency. We also have learned the train timings to Darbhanga and beyond. And we've never seen sir lose his calm on the rounds unless we reached the end of our thinking capacity and asked for cholesterol when it was not indicated. So those rounds were also fitness drills, as sir would race past all of us, looking at like examining all patients in the periphery, and we would थोड़ा सा side पे जाके सांस लेके फिर we would join the rounds. As residents, I think we know the secret of sir's energy. It's the real juice Tetra Pak, not chai coffee like all of us. Sir, then again, speaking of these intra-unit classes, which would happen with that real juice, chai and coffee, sir would arrive before all of us, before the presenters, and he would carry his laptop and the spare projector. And you have to believe me when I tell you that वो और किसी से चलता ही नहीं था, वो सर से ही चलता था for the longest time. अभी न्यू ब्लॉक में आके we are able to connect, but उससे पहले तो सर ही चला सकते थे उसको. Sir, I'm extremely emotional as you're leaving. Jokes apart, sir, we'll miss all of this. We'll miss working with you. You've guided us, helped us at every step. When I came here, I did not know anything about pediatric pulmonology. I didn't even know that I wanted to pursue my super specialty in pediatric pulmonology. Whatever little I learned while working in the first 3 months as an SR in Unit 3, then I knew that I wanted to do this, and here I am. Sir, thank you for everything. We will miss you when you go. And अब OPD के सब patients हमें खुद देखने पड़ेंगे.
So now I invite Dr. Rahul, who's a postgraduate resident at Pediatrics.
Greetings. I'm here to share my experiences with Kabra sir, first as an undergraduate and later as a pediatric resident. Sir, I clearly remember our first interaction. It was in my fourth semester of MBBS. We used to have integrated seminars in pharmacology in which faculties from related clinical subjects used to take lectures together. It was seminar on asthma drugs. And following an initially cluttered introduction by of the topic by the pharmacology faculty, our Kabra sir walked us through the topic in such a simple and lucid manner that it was probably one of the few pharmacology lectures that I understood completely and remembered. Later, during our undergraduate pediatric postings, we used to wait for ward class by Kabra sir, and जिस दिन sir की class होती थी, attendance used to be 100%. During end posting assessment, everyone wanted his or her viva to be taken by Kabra sir, because we used to be sure कि अगर viva Kabra sir लेंगे तो fail तो होगी नहीं. We used to literally beg exam in charge SR कि please मेरा viva Kabra sir के साथ करा दो. Sir used to listen to our broken history very patiently and would definitely focus on examination findings, the general physical examination, especially the auscultatory findings. Sir used to ask very basic question, and if you are able to answer those, you will definitely get 90%. And if you are able to answer his last question, the last question, then you will definitely get full marks. Otherwise, 60-70% to aa jayega. No wonders why pediatrics is the most popular and favored department amongst undergraduate. It is because of great teachers and clinicians like you, sir. You may not realize you are very popular among undergraduates, sir. I was amongst the fortunate few to join the department and be trained by you and other great faculties. I luckily joined MD in Unit 3 itself, and I vividly remember my first day. You asked me and other first semesters, आप लोग कहाँ रुके हैं? हॉस्टल मिल गया? खाना अच्छे से खा रहे हैं ना? मेस का खाना ठीक लग रहा है ना? It was so warming and welcoming that I can't express these in simple words. It was just a perfect start of my presidency, sir. After working a few weeks in Unit 3, I somehow get addicted to Sir's iconic "Arey bhaiya" wala phrase. मैंने तो ये expression सीखा ही sir, and I passed on this to my other undergraduate friends working in other departments. His rounds used to be pure delight. He used to have very distinct approach to analyzing patient issues, breaking them down into their most basic components, while still offering novel insights and input. His observation skills were unmatched, and nothing could miss from eyes of this astute clinician. He used to say, in order to become a specialist, you have to be a good pediatrician first. I can bet that you can never beat this young old man in a marathon, because during our periphery round, sir used to be at least 20 meters ahead of us residents. And even if you catch up, those sir would amuse you with his very interesting anecdotes about his past experiences in patients. He used to take utmost delight in knowing the minute details of his patient and residents, including the city, the gully, the mohalla in which they reside. And by gaining these details from patient over the years, sir can easily give tough competition to Google Maps, especially in locating places from UP and Bihar, sir. Sir's unparalleled commitment towards his patient is truly inspiring. The way he counsels each and every patient individually after rounds is something we should also learn. He takes immense pleasure in explaining and prognosticating patients from different linguistic backgrounds. For that, he would take help of a resident or staff who understand and speaks that language. Like a patient who is hailing from Bangladesh, he would ask SRJR, who is from West Bengal, and make sure that patient learns and understands each and everything. You can see the happiness on his face when he is able to deliver whatever he's saying to that patient. No wonder why Unit 3 OPDs used to finish before time, sir. It was just because you single-handedly used to see almost 30 to 50% of the cards. Such astonishing was his efficiency. For us residents, you and Madhulika ma'am are the go-to person during times of every kind of crisis we face, be it academics, health, or personal. You take care of each and every one of us like our own parents. We would forever be indebted for it, sir. You lead by example, definitely setting up high standards for all of us to follow. Needless to say, the impact of your teaching and research extends far beyond the confines of this institute. And you have not just imparted knowledge, you have ignited a spark within us, a thirst for learning that will continue to propel us forward. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And
Thank you. So now I invite Mr. Bharat Pandey, please say a few.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry, I'm a bit emotional because I worked with sir for last 24 years after passing my +2 exam, and I came here sorry, so I just come to the point which I learned from him, or
the mantra which he taught every one of us. It was like, first was patient first, always. A mantra that echoes through our office, OPD and wards, whether you are a doctor, nurse, or supporting staff. He taught us that the heart of healthcare beats strongest when it prioritizes those in need. So that was the first mantra. And the second was hard work, and hard work, selflessly, selflessly, and selflessly, without seeking accolades. His wisdom whisper, good karma prevails always. And finally, the most important thing which I want to share, सर हमेशा हमें सिखाते हैं कि अफसर नहीं बनना और अफसरी नहीं दिखानी, और आप जिस भी पोजीशन पे हो आपको सबके साथ एज ए टीम काम करना है. So, sir, urge us to focus on impact, not authorities. Our journey ahead is etched with the indelible ink of your teaching. Sir, in future, may we continue prioritize patients' work selflessly and embrace impact over titles, a legacy forged by you. And I'm very thankful. Like you have, I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir. सर वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग विच यू टॉट अस, आज भी सर आपका थर्सडे क्लिनिक था और हमारा स्टाफ पूरा क्लिनिक खत्म करके आके फिर यहाँ पे बैठा. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now I'll open the house if anyone wants to say, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Jasmeet. I worked with sir and have had a great opportunity, and I'm very, very thankful to God that I got sir. And actually, we are spreading that information and that learning the lesson. And I would say that I worked with him as a pool officer, and I came in 2006, and I just thought that how to I go ahead in pediatric pulmonology. And I was very confused. At that time, there was no DM, no fellowship, what to do. So jumping into pediatric pulmonology was my dream, maybe when I was postgraduate in MAMC and did my DNB in Gangaram, but I really didn't know how to go further. But when I started my journey with sir, when I took the decision to be a pool officer with sir, it was initially difficult because understanding sir is not so easy. It takes a year or two. I mean, I don't know, maybe more than that. But it was really very good. But the way he used to manage things in OPD, a new learning, though we have done everything in SRship and done things, but things were very new over here. And the learning and the lessons, what we got from him, yes, he used to be at 8:15 in the class, and we had to be rushed from our home and whatever to be at 8:15 or 8:30 in the morning class, and used to be very, very feel guilty like we have not attended it or we have been late. But sir is there. Yes, this is a great learning to be very punctual and efficient. And one thing, I would really agree with Dr. Birendra sir also what he said, that wherever background any person comes from, when he wants to learn, and that sir used to enlighten us, like spread his knowledge. Even if only thing that the person should have that immense interest in that subject or interest in working with him or in working with him, that is what he wanted, I suppose. And he really wanted to spread. It was not restricted to AIIMS only. I think sir has got n number of students. I think it is all over India, Bangladesh, even in Saudi. I would say I just, in Respicon, I happened to have a colleague. She was from Bangladesh, sir. And she said, I worked with Dr. Kabra. I'm like, when did you work with Dr. Kabra? I heard it was 6 months only. I was like, good, like during those years, maybe after 2009. And that is what charisma is, sir, is having. He actually is a great, great, great teacher, mentor. He spreads his knowledge. It is not restricted to anyone. Whoever has got the interest in that subject and he's want to dedicatedly go for it, sir is always there. And I think not restricted to AIIMS only, all over India, sir anywhere. You so we have worked with sir for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years. Sometimes people just decide to quit pool job after 2 years. But I said, no, no, no. I can't do this. I have to work for full 3 years. And after that, I also decided again to work with him. Like somehow getting a post is not possible. But sir, thank you very much for everything. A great learning, and we want you to be connected with us every time wherever you go. And I think we are connected wherever we say we are Dr. Kabra student. And actually we say that we have had experience from AIIMS under Dr. Kabra, and actually I'm practicing right now. And whenever a patient comes, yes ma'am आपने AIIMS में काम किया, मैं कहा yes Dr. Kabra के साथ काम किया, oh right, तो वो तो जो कहेंगे वो तो आप भी वही करो. Maybe. So thank you very much sir for all your dedication for, and I think many things have been taught, and we are still a student of yours, ever be associated. Thank you very much sir and ma'am.
मैं धनेश्वर यादव हूँ और सोशल वर्कर के रूप में यहाँ काम करता हूँ। मैं इस डिपार्टमेंट में 2004 में मैडम कालरा मैडम ने हमें ट्रांसफ़र होके मैं यहाँ आया था। पर मैं यही जानता हूँ कि सोशल वर्क मैंने एक्चुअली में ये 3 लोगों से मैंने सीखा है। पीछे भी बग्गा सर के फेयरवेल में बोला था। ये काबरा सर हैं और बग्गा सर हैं और मधुलिका मैडम हैं, और जो कुछ भी मैंने सोशल वर्क किया है वो इन तीनों के वजह से किया है। और सर में जो सबसे ख़ास क्वालिटी ये है, अगर हम गीता की बात करें तो गीता में भगवान कृष्ण अर्जुन को बोलते हैं कि सिद्ध पुरुष का या सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज पर्सन की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स या एट्रीब्यूट्स क्या होते हैं। तो उन्होंने 3-4 बातें बोली है। एक तो ये बातें हैं कि एक पर्सन अपनी इस लाइफ में ही अपनी प्रवृत्तियों को, अपनी पर्सनालिटी को कैसे तामसिक प्रवृत्ति से राजसी प्रवृत्ति में और कैसे राजसी प्रवृत्ति से सात्विक प्रवृत्ति में ले जाते हैं। तो वो प्रवृत्तियाँ जब हम काबरा सर को बड़ा क्लोजली देखते हैं तो ये तो ऐसे लगते हैं कि जैसे ये हर हमेशा सात्विक प्रवृत्ति में ही रहते हैं। इनकी पर्सनालिटी ऐसी ही बोलती है। जब भी हम इनके संपर्क में जाते हैं तो इनके आवाज़ से ज़्यादा इनकी आभा, इनकी वाइब्रेशन हम तक पहुंचती है। हम बहुत सूदिंग फील करते हैं। और दूसरा एट्रीब्यूट्स जो कृष्ण भगवान अर्जुन को बोलते हैं कि समदर्शी होते हैं। जो सिद्ध पुरुष होते हैं समदर्शी होते हैं। उनके नज़रों में कुत्ता, चंडाल और संत सब एक तरह होते हैं। वो समदर्शी भाव जो है काबरा सर में ही दिखाई देता है, और आज तक मुझे और किसी दूसरे ह्यूमन बीइंग में नहीं दिखाई दिया। और तीसरा सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ जो है भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को बताया है कि ऐसे पुरुष जो होते हैं वो निष्काम कर्म योगी होते हैं और सतत जो है हर हमेशा जीवों की सेवा करते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि काबरा सर ने अपने लाइफ टाइम में जितने जीवों की इन्होंने सेवा करी है, वो सेवा अगर स्टेट के और मीडिया के असेसमेंट और एवेल्युएशन में आती तो काबरा सर को नोबेल पीस प्राइज मिलना चाहिए था। जैसे जितना काम मदर टेरेसा, नेल्सन मंडेला और मार्टिन लूथर ने भले करा होगा, लेकिन छोटे ये पेडियाट्रिक्स डिपार्टमेंट में सर जो हैं उन्हीं के बराबर के स्टेचर के एक महान जो है योगी हैं, जिन्होंने अपनी लाइफ जो है हर हमेशा जीव की सफरिंग को कम करने के लिए और उनको जो है सेवा दे के जो है ना हैप्पी और पीस जो है रियलाइज करने वाले एक सिद्ध पुरुष हैं। लास्ट में मैं यही कहता हूँ कि सर मैं अपने सोशल वर्क मैंने जितने भी मरीज को किया है उसका 1/3 मैंने बग्गा सर को डेडिकेट किया था, 1/3 मैं आपको डेडिकेट करता हूँ। और मैंने बहुत सीखा है, और मेरे से कोई गलती हुई होगी तो सर आप मुझे माफ़ कीजिएगा। थैंक यू सर।
For sake of time, so we'll proceed to the next part. So now I invite the man of the hour, our beloved Professor Kabra sir, to speak a few words of wisdom for us.
सर के लिए मैंने कुछ लिखा है। सर के साथ ज़्यादा ड्यूटी तो नहीं किया बहुत टाइम, लेकिन सर को ओपीडी में बच्चे दिखाए ना मैंने अपने दोनों ट्विंस, तो इसलिए मैं सर को अच्छे से जानती हूँ। सर शांति से आराम से देखते थे, कितनी भी भीड़ हो कैसे भी हो। भीनी भीनी सी मुस्कुराहट रहे, सिकन नहीं कहीं आसपास रहे, हेल्थ वेल्थ का साथ रहे, हर एक पल आपका खास रहे, हर खुशी आपके पास रहे, मैडम जी का साथ रहे, युगों युगों तक आपका सर हम सब पर आशीर्वाद रहे। जाने के बाद भी हम सबको याद करना सर, हम सबसे मिलने कभी कभी फिफ्थ फ्लोर आया करना सर। एक बार फिर से आपको हेल्दी वेल्दी लाइफ के लिए अनंत शुभकामनाएं।
Respected senior faculty members, Madam Kalra, Dr. Arvind Bagga, and those who are online, offline, along with senior faculty members from pediatrics as well as from the other departments, and residents, nursing staff, research staff, and friends. I'm very thankful to all of you for organizing and participating in this function. And इसके लिए मैं बहुत अभिभूत हूँ, इतना प्यार मुझे मिला है, उसके लिए मैं आप सबका धन्यवाद करता हूँ। और आपने जो अच्छी बातें मेरे लिए बताई है, ये मेरे अकेले बस की नहीं है, ये सब आप हैं तो सब बात है, आप नहीं हैं तो कुछ नहीं है, आप सब लोगों के सहयोग से ही ये सब कर पाए हैं। और मैं अपने आप को भाग्यशाली समझता हूँ कि मुझे एम्स में काम करने का मौका मिला और आप सब लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करने का, आप सब लोगों से के साथ काम करने का मौका मिला। एंड इसी कारण से एम्स है वो टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट है इंडिया का, एज वेल एज वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट विच प्रोवाइड्स गुड केयर इन अफोर्डेबल कॉस्ट is considered AIIMS as one of the topmost institution in the world. And इस सब में हम सबका सहयोग है, सारे लोगों का सहयोग है, चाहे वो स्वीपर हो, चाहे वो नर्सिंग स्टाफ हो, एचएज हो, चौकीदार है, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स है, ये सबका कंबाइंड इफर्ट है जिसके कारण से ये सारा हुआ। और मैं फॉर्चुनेट हूँ कि मुझे आप सब लोगों का सहयोग मिला मुझे अपनी ड्यूटी करने के लिए। और इस दौरान यदि मैंने आप किसी का भी मन दुखाया है तो मैं आपसे माफ़ी मांगता हूँ, मुझे माफ़ कीजिएगा। I have seen significant progress in the Department of Pediatrics over the last 3.5 decades, and it was a strong foundation by Professor O.P. Ghai, and it was further nurtured by people who are sitting here and those who have already left. Because of their constant effort, we could develop a super specialty in pediatrics, and that not only development of super specialty in India, in AIIMS, but it also gave direction to other institutions. And now it is considered to be that pediatric super specialty are now developing in India. And in AIIMS now at least 7 DM pediatric super specialty care is being done. For the patient care, contribution of nursing officers and residents is very significant. Majority of residents stay, join institute, serve people, learn art of medicine, and majority go back to their center, states, or other institution. They not only do selfless service, but also teach, stimulate senior faculty members to read. And it is one of the important aspect that residents are the core people who are promoting medical care at AIIMS, research at AIIMS, and you give us a recognition when you are working in the field. On my personal front, I really fall short of word for thanking faculty, colleagues in other departments and in my own department who have gone out of the way to support me and in the difficult time. I am grateful to them. I acknowledge my family, specifically Madhulika. Both of us are here because of each other. We exist because of each other. My mother, father, my sisters, brothers, they sacrificed for my education, and उन सब का सहयोग मेरी टीचिंग में और अपनी ड्यूटी करने में बिना किसी उसके कर पाया हूँ, ये उन्हीं के कारण से है. In the end, I would like to thank and convey my best wishes to each one of you who are present here and the ones who are not, for giving me the best years of my lifetime at AIIMS, which I am certainly going to miss. And I am sure that the AIIMS will reach new heights and will remain the best always. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, most of you have worked with Sir as a colleague, as a student. But what I am telling you is as my perspective as a parent of a patient. I have shown my child to Sir, and it was like my daughter was having asthma. So everyone was like, आप एम्स में काम करते हो, अपने बच्चे को काबरा सर को नहीं दिखाया. So that was the thing, and that's how I showed to Sir. But the sir was very particular about the queue. So I remember I used to beg Sister Chaya, Didi jara jaldi karwa do please. And she used to say, no, sir to bilkul line se hi dekhenge. And when we used to enter the room, sir was the one, but I mean, I'm sorry if I'm hurting anyone. It's like, it's my personal opinion. So when I used to enter the room, if 2 patients are there, so there were, I think, 90% chances that the person who is from outside or from a village will be seen by sir and will be seen by SR. So all the doctors are same, but still, as a parent, लगता है ना कि बच्चे को काबरा सर देख लें. तो I used to pray in my head, हे भगवान, काबरा सर के पास मेरा कार्ड आ जाए, या ये पेशेंट जो है जिसको बुलाया जा रहा है वो गाय मतलब वो वहाँ क्यू में ना हो या बाहर ना आए, तो मेरे इस बच्चे को सर देख लें. तो सर मैंने आपसे कभी छुट्टी नहीं मांगी, मतलब एज ए एम्प्लॉय मैंने कभी छुट्टी नहीं मांगी, बट देन ऑल्सो आई हैव अ ग्रेट रिस्पेक्ट फॉर यू एंड आई एम श्योर यहाँ पर एवरी वन इज़ शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम. देन ऑल्सो मैं अपने आप को रोक नहीं पाई कि सर सीरियसली आप जैसे बहुत कम लोग यहाँ पर हैं. मैं भी यहाँ पे बहुत सालों से हूँ, इट्स लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 25 years इन वेरियस रोल्स. बट सर आप जैसा, भगा सर जैसा, पॉल सर, देवरारी सर, ऐसा कोई नहीं देखा. एंड आई एम श्योर एंड आई रियली प्रे टू गॉड कि आपकी जो यंग फैकल्टी है आने वाली है वो आपके जैसे एटलीस्ट कुछ आपके पैरों को छूने तक की कोशिश करें. बिकॉज इट्स अ ग्रेट लॉस. यहाँ जो इतने फूल हैं, इनकी जो खुशबू है, ये सब ऐसे नहीं है. जो इतने लोग आए हैं वो सिर्फ ऐसे नहीं आए कि उनको बुलाया है, वो सिर्फ यहाँ इसलिए आए हैं क्योंकि उनके मन में आपके लिए इज्जत है. So I really wish sir all the best and I must tell you कि बग्गा सर 2 महीने पहले रिटायर हुए हैं. मेरे पास पेशेंट्स आने लगे हैं, पुअर पेशेंट्स. As you must be knowing and those who don't know, I want to tell that I am working as a medical social welfare officer. मैम बग्गा सर ने हमें बचा लिया. हमारे पास पैसे नहीं थे, सर ने हमें गाइड करा. उनकी वजह से हम जो भी आए अपने बच्चे का इलाज करा पा रहे हैं. तो सर आई नो आप कहाँ ही भी जाएंगे आपकी पर्सनैलिटी नहीं चेंज होगी. एंड फॉर मैम आई वॉन्ट टू से मैम हो सकता है मे बी एज ए ह्यूमन बींग आई डोंट नो आपको लगा होगा कि सर बहुत ज़्यादा डेडिकेटेड है, बट आज आपको लगा होगा कि हाँ उनकी ये डेडिकेशन जो है इट इज़ एक्चुअली पेइंग ऑफ. जहाँ यहाँ आप लोगों के इतने मैसेजेस सुन रही होंगी, इतने लोगों को देख रही होंगी, आज आपको उन पर प्राउड हो रहा होगा. एंड सो मुझे और यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग जो बहुत ज़्यादा इमोशनल हो गए हैं उनको भी थैंक यू सर.
Thank you. So now it's time to, on behalf of the department, present a token of our gratitude to sir. Dr. Sandeep Agarwal, sir, I think, sorry, we missed you earlier, and I think, yeah, before we go ahead.
So the less said is better. Dr. Kabra, I think I met for the first time in 1986. He was posted to the Ballabgarh as the first posting when he joined AIIMS as senior resident. और जितनी भी बदमाशियाँ इन्होंने सीखी है हमने उनको वहीं सिखाई है, मतलब जो ज़्यादा नहीं है बट वहीं सिखाई है. So
I'm sure everybody has noticed and worked with him very hard. He's a very hard taskmaster, perfectionist, and always there for the patients, for your own relatives, for your own kids. Thank you, sir, for everything. I wish you a very, very bright and happy future life. Thank you.
Can I request a department faculty scientists to just come here and ma'am, Dr. Veena Kalra ma'am, Dr. Baga sir, Dr. Shinjini. Dr. Savita ma'am. Okay, thank you. So on behalf of the division, we just tried to, means I don't think we would have compiled all the publications, but some what we thought were the salient ones. And sir, Dr. Baga sir, maybe. Maybe before that, this is just a compilation of some of the main papers, and the rest are on a pen drive, saving some paper. And I would also like to present a small booklet with messages from many of the faculty, students, ex-residents, and which has been put together with the significant help from our undergraduate students, Anagha, Anna, and Mukul. I don't think they are here, but we just tried to put together some of these in a small booklet. Research team took us. Okay, so with this, we'll now, I think I'll request Dr. Rachna for a vote of thanks, and then we proceed for a group photograph outside the hall. And then please join us back for tea outside in the foyer, please.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Department of Pediatrics, it's my privilege and honor to deliver this vote of thanks on this superannuation ceremony of Dr. Kabra. And this occasion is unique. Let everybody settle. Let everybody settle. Let everybody settle. बोल दिया. Let everybody settle for a minute.
Can I just...
It's almost done. हाँ. ऐसे बोल देते we thank each one of President. So we thank each one of you who have graced this occasion, and so our dean, our medical superintendent, our previous heads of department, faculty from other department, residents, scientists, the entire research staff. We thank each one of you who've graced this occasion. It's unique in a way because Sir's own wife, Dr. Madhulika, is taking over as head in this department. And we welcome ma'am, and we look forward to your headship, ma'am. We are really grateful to the AIIMS administration, the CMED facility, the SET facility, the horticulture department, the security department, all have really facilitated, and you've seen the culmination of this event today. Thank you once again, and we request you all to join a photograph. Thank you, thank you.